Hello again, Yakri here with another Dominions 4 video. This time I want to talk about a winning strategy. Someone on the Dominions 4 subreddit said that, it would be interesting to look at high-level strategies that actually let people win games for more experienced Dominions players. It's hard to cover these strategies in the abstract, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few videos on games I've won and talk about how I won them, and what let me do it. And in the future, hopefully, I'll be able to get some turn files from other experienced players I know, and talk about how they won with different strategies, if I can get them to explain it to me first. Let's see. The one I was going to look at was this one, I believe. Yes, as Vanarus. This is a game I won as Vanarus, around turn 40-something. In this game, I wasn't actually doing particularly well, but I still won. How is that? Well, I was a sneaky fucking bastard. My original game plan was to have good scales and roll around the map with Vanarus's high-quality infantry, right? They've got very good troops. They've got very nice spellcasters who can thug, and you can drop, I think you can drop Thunderstrike spam with Vanarusian Sages. Yes, you can. And they've got great research, yeah, great research, I would say. So that was going to be my game plan, to expand really hard, get a large amount of the map, and then roll out huge armies backed by Thunderstrike spam. This didn't work out for me too well. The reason for that is because I got my Pretender killed in, the first 3 turns of the game, I believe. I expanded into Lizardmen. If you've watched my expansion video, you know you should never do that. But I did. I don't remember why. I guess I was overconfident. The Earth Serpent is very powerful. And he got killed. He really got killed very quickly. I think in the first turn of combat, he was never even cursed. He just got shreked by their high damage attacks. So this put me at a bit of a disadvantage. Especially once other people realized my god had died. But, I played it off while I managed to expand okay, and I kind of just sat around for 20 turns not doing anything, and researching. About 15 turns before I won, I got a different idea. I'd been stealthing my units all around up in here, and if you notice all these little eyes here, the triangles, I've got so... Let's not show them? Oh, you can see everything as the game is over. I had a lot of scouts. Anyway. And what I did was I snuck thugs onto all the open throne provinces. And prior to this, I'd spent a lot of time making alliances and starting wars in order to keep throne provinces from having forts built on top of them. And once I had enough units on several throne provinces that I was confident I could take them, I also set up all my mages, every mage I could, to cloud trapeze onto the throne provinces. So I had my Pretender ready to teleport onto a throne province. I had tons and tons of Vanarusian Sages, and what are these guys called? Vanyarls? Vanabogs. Vanyarls is, I think, that's gotta be Vanheim, right? Of course, Vans. So, I teleported mages onto throne provinces, and you might say, well, these guys aren't Priest 3s, but Bogarus... Excuse me, sorry, Vanarus, Bogarus can too, can summon Alkanost. It's a astral magic path requirement to summon these guys, but funny thing, my Pretender had astral magic, so I had to summon my Pretender back. I had to get enough astral gems, I believe these take astral gems, to summon these guys. I summoned these guys, fitted them out with equipment, because they had to fly in the same turn as some of my units, and I think I had some flying units attacking with them, backup forces. Oh, that's right. I had a teleporting force for every province, almost, and then a backup force that attacked after the teleportation via stealth. So in some cases, my teleportation forces were killed, but those were on provinces where there were actual armies there. So they whittled down the armies, and then my secondary forces attacked and finished them off. Overall, it was a very successful attack. I think someone moved a large army off a throne province just as I captured it. And then I had saved up several thousand gold, and I put 40 province defense on every one of these things to, prevent any attacks, which is kind of excessive, but there were some changes to when you cap thrones, and I wasn't sure if someone might be able to uncap them. And yeah, that was about it. I basically combined the fact that I had access to Priest 3s. So this is something that's hard to do on some nations because you don't have enough Priest 3s to capture a throne. But it's possible to pull it off if you are already close to victory, right? The thing here was that no one expected me to win because I needed 3 more thrones to win, right? And I captured like 3 or 4 thrones, ensuring my victory, right? And they had to be the right 3 thrones, and I spent a lot of effort making sure that I could capture the right 3 thrones to win with just 3 thrones, and had a shot at a 4th, potentially. So no one really saw it coming. Now, you can still pull this off if people do see it coming by obfuscating where your units capable of capping thrones are, by having a stealthy prophet, or a teleporting pretender, or a teleporting prophet, right? Via Cloud Trapeze or the actual spell Teleport, right? So those are some ways you can pull this off with a different nation. Any nation that has access to numerous Priest 3s can pull this off pretty easily, especially if you also have air magic, because then you can give your Priest 3s boots to let them fly, or you can Cloud Trapeze them if the Priest 3s have air magic and all that jazz. This is like, basically just a tricky throne jump strategy. I don't know if I could have won this game through All Out War. Mictlan is a much better player. The guy who was playing Mictlan, he's a much better player than me, and I think he was in a position to win eventually. What's his face? This guy playing Marignon, not as good a player as me or Mictlan. We probably were gonna kill him. But he was doing very well at the time. He appeared to be doing very well. Abyssio was AI. I don't know what else is relevant to this. That actually pretty much just covers the strategy. It's surprise throne captures. A lot of diplomacy went into it. I made alliances with people. I never actually broke my word. I just, tried to tell people, like, oh, I think I'm going to invade this guy, right? I'm going to invade this guy next. You should ally with me. Let's invade him. We'll take his stuff. And then I would kind of say, like, all right, I think actually this other guy is becoming more of a threat. And who I'd suggest was becoming more of a threat and we should invade pretty much completely depended on who I wanted to stop from putting forts on their throne provinces so that I would have the opportunity to do this later. I think that about runs me out of time. I might have a couple more minutes. Is there anything else super relevant to this? I mean, my pretender selection was from the start allowing me to do this, right? Where's my dude? He's around here somewhere on one of these thrones. Earth Serpent. He has astral magic. You can't normally summon Alkahnost as Bogaris. Yeah, fuck, Bogaris. No, it's Vanarus. Vanarus, damn it. They're Bogaris in the late age. Bogarus, excuse me. So this guy originally had Astral 3. I had to empower. I think no, it's because of this booster, but he originally had Astral 3 and Earth 4. But he died and lost some of that power. But I was able to get him back up there, and I found enough gems. I also had I believe, did I have Lux Scales? Yeah, I had Lux Scales, which also helped. Yeah, there's not much more to it. There's a fair number of nations that can do it. Vanarus can do it in the Middle Age. Lots of nations with stealth units, or almost any nation with Priest 3s can pull it off, depending on your pretender selection. And it's a good way to win a game when people aren't suspecting it. It's also a word of warning. You should put you should put castles on your throne provinces. I could not have done this if any one of these 3 thrones had a fort on it, right? If someone had bothered to fort up these thrones instead of forting every fucking province next to them, which I actually made the same mistake doing that over here, and it's what gave me the idea in the first place. If that had happened, I would have never had the opportunity to do this, right? Maybe Abyssio has an excuse. It was right next to their capital, right? Actually, Marignon is in the same problem and was... Yeah, Jotunheim, these are all next to capitals, so that's why, that's partly why no one did it for a long time, and then I stopped them from doing the one near Abyssio once Abyssio went AI by occasionally just attacking it with thugs and killing their guy who was building a castle, and claiming that was part of my efforts to be allies with someone else, Really, it was just for my own purposes to win. So yeah, that pretty much covers that. And I think I'll make more of these videos later on, but this is the simplest victory I have accomplished in Dominions 4, I would say. So all the other videos I do are going to have to be a good bit longer. This was a good opportunity to do something that takes a reasonable amount of time to explain. Let's take a quick look at my research paths. I'm not going to really explain it, but now you've seen what they are if you want to look at what that gets me as Vanarus. And let's look at the statistics for the game. I had a lot of provinces here. I mean, I stayed under the peak for a while, and I actually traded off. I let people take provinces I had so I wouldn't look as threatening, as big and scary as I really was at certain points. I probably should have tried to lose a few more provinces so I would appear as even less of a threat, because people were starting to suspect near the end, right? But I was actually pretty high up on most of these graphs. Of course, except for research. Yeah, wow, I was pretty far behind there. But most people, or we didn't have access to these. We had them turned off in the game, and I highly recommend never, ever, ever, ever playing a game where score graphs are turned on. Maybe if you just want to have a brawl, but score graphs really, really unbalance Dominions for, so do not recommend them, ever. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.